I mean, I really know what Kantakoya was talking about, the fear of her kids running away, because when I got to Kennedy Airport, also at the end of my vacation, she happened to be there changing flights from Paris, Kennedy to Miami, and I happened to be in New York, so Kennedy to Miami. And yeah, I would find it nerve-wracking too, because they love that run in that airport. And we're only at the gate for maybe, 28 minutes. But her kids are my best friends because on Grandparents of Special Friends Day, I was a special friend last year, so I always wanted to be a special friend. Thanks. So I did spend the first 2 weeks of August at my parents' house. The goal was to get things a little further along in getting the house to sell. We didn't really, but in good faith, my sister and I tackled a couple of closets. Well, I really tackled them. She said, okay. And I prepared a bag to give away, one to throw away, and one to save. And what we saved are the objects of value. And by value, I mean that they are part of our family's story. So with each item we picked up, my sister and I would share its story with each other. Naturally, many times our stories did not match. But sometimes there was consensus, like with the sugar bowl and creamer. We did both agree that it was the set my mother used every holiday when she set the table with our grandmother's china, now in a box ready to go to my daughter. We'll see what she does with them. So I packed that sugar bowl and creamer in the box that was sent to me. We then found the menorah from our childhood. The holder for the shamash was broken off, and it was never an especially pretty menorah. Nobody used the word Chanukiah then unless you were in Israel. And it certainly wasn't majestic. And neither of us knew its story, where our parents had gotten it from. I said, it can't be used. Toss it. No way, she said. I'm keeping it. It's the only menorah we ever used. True, the menorah is part of our family history. And each time we share a story from the past, it adds new meaning to our shared story. And the same is true when we read the book of Deuteronomy, Devarim, for it is a retelling of the laws and obligations, the mistakes and the miracles we have already read. Moses reminds, chides, and cajoles the Israelites at the end of their journey before they enter the land of Israel. He shares with them the trials they endured in the wilderness, not eating bread alone, the trials they created for him in his relationship with God, and how, for as long as he knew them, they were a stiff-necked people. In chapter 9, verse 8, we read, Zechor al tishkach et asher hitkatzta et Adonai Elohecha bamidbar. Remember and never forget how you provoked Adonai your God to anger in the wilderness. From the day that you left the land of Egypt until you reached this place, you have continued to be defiant. At Horeb, you so provoked Adonai that God was so angry enough that God wanted to destroy you, but I changed his mind. Ve'era ve'hine chatatchem la'Adonai Elohechem asitem lachem egel masecha sartem maher min haderech asher tiva Adonai etchem. I saw how you had sinned against your God. You had made yourselves a molten calf. You had been quick to stray from the path that Adonai had enjoined upon you. And again you provoked Adonai at Tavera, and at Massa, and at Kivrot HaTa'ava. And when Adonai sent you on from Kadesh Barnea, saying, go up and take possession of the land that I am giving you, you flouted the command of Adonai your God, whom you did not put your trust in nor obey. And Moses said, Mamrim hayitem Im Adonai miyom dati etchem. As long as I have known you, you have been defiant toward Adonai. Why this reproach? Why again and again do the Israelites hear what happened in the past? We've heard it all before, the calf, the complaining, and those who needed to be punished are no more. And we know the Torah never repeats itself for mere effect. Any recapitulation is to introduce a new idea. According to Seforno, the 16th century Italian commentator, the repetition is to learn more about God. For Moses added proof to his characterizing the Jewish people as being stiff-necked by reminding them of how many times during his stewardship of the nation they had angered God. This happened again and again and again, although each time they had been subjected to disciplining by God, they learned more about God's greatness on each occasion. Now, I don't know too many people who are motivated to do the right thing by being reminded about all the wrong things they have done. But these reminders that Moses gave again and again to the Israelites demonstrate God's redemptive power each time the nation of Israel was saved. And this is how the Israelites learned about gratitude. Shortly in our Torah portion, they will enter the land of Israel, and it is a land of wheat and barley, grapes, pomegranates, fig trees, olive trees, and honey. They will then cultivate the land and increase all of their material goods. Life will be good for them. So good, the Torah teaches us, that one might think it was their doing alone that brought them such wealth, without any thought of a thank you. But we all know no one is completely self-made, and so Moses instructs them to offer gratitude. V'achalta v'savata uverachta et Adonai Elohecha al ha'aretz hatova asher natan lach. Some of you know this from singing it. It is part of the Birkat Hamazon, the grace, the prayer of after we eat. It's simple enough, and it's important enough that this idea of giving is said every time we eat by Jews, not just in the land of Israel, but everywhere. The Torah's view of these ideas teaches us that gratitude does not come naturally. We all know young children are reminded by parents and teachers to say thank you. It is also one of the first words we learn when studying a foreign language, and if you would think to yourself how many different languages you know, it may only be one or two or three, but how many thank yous do you know? And my children learned to say thank you in Hebrew before they learned in English. Todah was so much easier and more fun to say. The only mistake I made is that I didn't tell their teachers that when they said thank you, it was Todah. The Torah gives us extraordinary occurrences to learn about gratitude, like getting the Torah even after creating the golden calf, entering the promised land even after refusing to go in because of the incident of the spies. And we also show gratitude for the big things at births, at weddings, and even remembering a life well lived. But we also need to think about what Moses in the Torah is trying to teach us, that it will serve us well to habituate gratitude for the daily moments, because these really are the moments that we spend thinking about most of our lives, like offering thanks for food. We're also instructed to offer 100 blessings a day, and if you want to see it, I have a little book called 100 Blessings a Day. Judaism has made gratitude a part of our practice since Torah times. And now, too, the secular and scientific worlds also understand the importance of what is popularly known as cultivating an attitude of gratitude. Social, psychological, and health benefits are the result of receiving and offering gratitude. In an article from Positive Psychology, gratitude is found to lead to optimism, selflessness, spirituality, empathy, and self-esteem. But cultivation of gratitude begins not with the celebration of a birthday, rather from paying attention to daily occurrences from the moment we open our eyes. It takes discipline and a desire to want to feel happier, to feel more connected to other people and the world around us. Most of us would like to feel more satisfied with our lives. It's in our reach, and one doesn't need to plan a trip or buy something new. Okay, I'm talking to myself, some of you know. But we do have to be aware and the reasons to give thanks. So my sister kept our childhood menorah, the one with the broken shamash holder. And now I see why she did. Because looking at that menorah, I remember the nights year after year, our family stood by it, offering our prayers of thanks to God for the light and for the freedom. We certainly didn't recognize that we're offering gratitude then, or even more than a thank you. But it was the beginning of practicing of gratitude. Gratitude, unfortunately, does not come naturally. It takes giving something or someone a closer look. On this Shabbat, may our eyes be open to see the miracles in the ordinary, and then say thank you for them. Amen. Shabbat Shalom.